Hello everyone, welcome to this session, this massive session of our module number 6, my word in another language from Preparing a Set. My name is Emanuel Vázquez Nieto and I'm a virtual advisor on this module. ¿Qué tal, estimados estudiantes? Bienvenidos a esta sesión síncrona masiva de la primera semana del módulo 6, Mi Mundo en Otra Lengua de Preparing a Set. Me presento, soy Emanuel Vázquez Nieto y yo soy uno de los asesores virtuales en uno de los grupos que se está impartiendo en este módulo que tiene que ver sobre el aprendizaje de la lengua inglesa, el lenguaje inglés. Quiero comentarles al inicio de la sesión que pues me voy a estar yo dirigiendo principalmente en el idioma inglés. Voy a hacer algunas anotaciones muy breves en español en cuanto a unos puntos primordiales, pero en su totalidad la sesión va a ser en el idioma inglés. Les comento esto para que haya claridad y que de cualquier manera, si hay alguna duda, con mucho gusto yo la puedo abordar en el idioma español. ¿Vale? Okay, so we're going to begin with our session, and the structure is the following one. First, we're going to have an introduction, which is the thing we're having right now. Then, this is going to be the place where we're going to spend most of the session is going to be analyzing the word you're going to deliver in the first week. Yes? Then I'm going to open a specific space for questions and doubts you may have, but I'm going to be stopping myself several times through the session so I can clarify the ones that comes by. And after that, we're going to establish the closure and the farewell of the session. First and foremost, I would like you to take a look at the way you're going to be evaluated in this module. And it's the one we have on the screen. And talking about this, let me do just one thing. And first, we have 4 weeks, yes? And on the first 3 weeks, we have something called Actividad Integradora, yes? And each is, it has a percentage of 7% of the total note you can get in the module, yes? And when we add all of these activities, we have something that it's called 42% of the note you can get in the module, yes? On the 4 weeks, you're going to be evaluated through the activity on the platform, yes? And this is when you take a look at the some resource and when you do any activity, it's going to be the 5%, yeah? And on week number 1 and 3, we have social emotional activities, yes? And for this, when you're going to do this, you need to take in account the things that your tutor will tell you, yes? And finally, on week number 4, we have something called Proyecto Integrador, and this is the activity by its own that has more weight on the note, on the final note you can get on the module, yes? So you need to do this properly. You need to do this in a correct way. And mainly you need to take in mind that for this project, we virtual advisors don't give any more time so you can deliver your activity, yes? And also in week number 4, you have something called integrative forum, yes? And this forum, it's evaluated, yes? And it's 8% on the note you can get, yes? So it's important that you do your participation properly in this forum. And also on week number 4, you have something called autoevaluación, and this is 5% of your note. And if you don't put yourself that 5%, no one is going to be able to put it, yes? So it's important that you take that one in mind. And that's the way you're going to be evaluated in the course, in the module. So it's important that you know how you're going to be evaluated. Good. Now, we are in week number 1. That goes from the 7th of June until the 13th of June. And it's unit number 1, introducing myself and others. First and foremost, before you do anything, I will invite you to take a look at this resource, the guide, because this one tells you which resources you need to check so you can do activity maybe number 1, or which other resources you need to check so you can do activity number 2. So take a look at it first, because this one tells you or gives you the path you need to follow so you can do the activities of week number 1. Yep. And also we have a resource that it's called vocabulary semana 1. This is very important because this one tells you which vocabulary you're going to use in this week. Yes. And it's going to talk about family, about personal things like name, street, and so on. Yes. So take a look at these both resources before you begin the activities. And the resources you have of the week, they go along about things about basic things in English, like the verb to be, like you need to use the verb to be for each subject. Yes. And also how to say hi or how to say goodbye in English. And we can talk about singular things and some other things. This one is very important also, the WH word. And because the question words, because you're going to be using this in all of the activities in each week. Yes. And you also have this thing that is called the learning forum. And this is very important because this is the only place where you can practice the English language. And you can practice it with your classmates. So it's important that you try to participate in English. Yes. If you have any questions about what you need to do, you need to ask your virtual advisor. Yes. So this is very important. Try to take advantage of that place because it's the only place where we can practice the English language. And what else? What can I tell you about the resources? I think that's mostly it. And you have activity number 1, my curriculum vitae, that we're gonna take a look at it in afterwards. You also have activity number 2. This is my great family. Formative activity number 1, Johnson's family tree. Number 2, introducing my friend. You also have to learn further, to practice further. And you also have a social emotional activity and a social emotional questionnaire. So those are the activities of week number 1. Yes. Now, what you are expected to learn in this unit is that you're gonna know about the grammatical notions and vocabulary to introduce yourself and some other people in a written and oral way. Yes. And also so you can request information about other people. Yep. So the content is the following one. What is your name? Where are you from? What is your occupation? I am, you are, and family members. Right here we have something very important. Is used for singular things. Yes, for just one thing. And are is used for plural things, which is 2 things or more. Yes. So it's very important that you begin to understand this topic, that we use is for singular things and are for plural. Yep. And also we can take a look at right here that we have the WH questions. And in English, it's very important that you know that when we do a question, we need to use just one question mark, and it goes at the end of the sentence. So that's the content of this week. Now we're gonna take a look at the activities you need to deliver in week number 1. First, let me show you the screenshot I did so you can take a look at it about the instructions of what you need to do. Okay, so we are in activity number 1, my curriculum vitae. And some people may have gone into the place where they have to find a job. Yes. And when you're trying to apply for a job, you need to present your information in a document, and it's called my curriculum vitae. And we're gonna think that you are trying to apply for a job in a company that speaks English. Yes, that speaks English. So what you need to do is to present your information, your personal information, but in English. And that's what we need to do in this activity. The purpose of this activity is that you're going to introduce yourself, presenting your personal information in a written and oral way, in a context where you're trying to apply for a job. So what you need to do is you need to identify your personal information, your basic personal information, use the grammatical structure so you can share that information, and also to describe some attributes about your person. Yes, it may be the personality or your physical appearance. You need to read a simple text in English. You need to work with a Word document, yes, and you need to make a recording. This is very important, yes. And also, you need to save your information in the cloud. And at the same time, you need to share the link of your information about the audio, yes? So, what you will deliver, it's going to be two files. One, that it's going to be the document where you wrote your personal information, and the other one is going to be an audio where you're going to read the information in the document you wrote, yep? So, how are you going to do it? You need to read the instructions carefully, and you need to click right here on the thing where it says application form so you can download the template you're going to be working with. Yep. Then you need to fill the data that is required. You can work with Microsoft Word or documents of Google. And you need to use the information in the format so you can read it. And at the same time, you need to record yourself speaking that lecture you're giving, yes, about the information of yourself and the description of your house. Be careful with this part because the instructions says clearly that we need to read both of the things we have in the document. I'm going to explain it in just a sec, yes. Then you need to save your file, and that's the audio recording, yes. You need to save it in the cloud. Then you need to copy and paste the link to that file, in that audio file. So, but you need to make sure that it has the correct permission so your virtual advisor can listen to this one. This is very important because sometimes when we try to listen to your audio, and if it doesn't have the proper permission, it's going to be impossible for us to evaluate that part of your work. Yes, and after that you need to save your file like this with this example we have right here, and you need to upload it into the platform. Remember that it needs to be saved in a format of .doc or .docx so your virtual advisor can take a look at it and evaluate it. Yep. And how are you going to be evaluated? You need to take a look at this rubric we have right here, and this one is going to tell you how you're going to be evaluated. And it's going to tell you which elements your virtual advisor will consider when he or she is evaluating your work. Yep. So those are the instructions of activity number 1, my curriculum vitae. Now we're going to take a look at the document you're going to be working with. Yes. Once you have downloaded the document from the platform, you're going to say this. Yep. And we're going to take a look at it. We have activity number 1, my curriculum vitae, application form. And we have right here the personal information that it's being requested about yourself. Yes? So you need to, right here, this is very important, you need to include a photo of yourself. It's important that you include it about yourself because after you need to describe yourself about your physical appearance. And the physical appearance you gave, it has to match with the photo you have right here, yes? And after we need to put the last name, first name, middle name, the address, the street, the number, city, state, zip code, telephone number, email, nationality, age, occupation, and birthday. Now, it's very important that you know that in English, they only use one last name, yes? they only use one, but right here in Mexico we use two. So it's very important that you put both of the last names, yes? And myself, I don't have a middle name. I don't have a second name. I just have one name. So my first name, it will be Emmanuel. But imagine that I have a second name, maybe an Octavio. I have to put my second name in the part of it's where it says middle name. But I don't have a second name, so I just put it like this, and that's correct. Yep. Now, the address, the street. You don't have to translate into English the name of the street. It's gonna be the same. Yep. About the number. The numbers are called differently in English. Yes? You don't read it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. No, that's incorrect. That's in Spanish. In English, we need to read them like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 or O. Yep. You need to put your city, your state, your zip code, and your telephone number. Again, careful with the numbers. You need to tell them in English. And right here, you need to put your email. Be careful with the symbols because they are not the same in Spanish. Yep, they are called different in English. This one in English, it's called at. This one, it's called dot. This one, it's called underscore. This one is called slash. So be careful. Yes, when you read your email, you need to read it like this. My email is emmanuel.vasquez.nieto@gmail.com. Yes, that's the correct way to tell it in English. You don't have to tell it like in Spanish. My email is emanuel.vasquez.nieto@gmail.com. No, that's incorrect. Yep, careful with your email. So right here you need to put your nationality and your age and also your occupation and birthday. And that's it for the first part, the personal information. We have a note right here. Let's take a look at it. No es necesario que incluyas tu dirección real. Puedes inventar alguna. El objetivo es que practiques la forma en que se debe trabajar un formato de este tipo. En la foto te sugerimos que incluyas la misma que tienes en la plataforma. Okay, so that's the instructions on the first part. Then we're going to need to take a look at this. And it says the following. In 2 lines, describe your best personal qualities and your physical appearance. So you need to talk about both things, your best personal qualities and your physical appearance. And we have an example right here. For example, I am intelligent, active, friendly, and funny. I'm short and thin. I have brown, curly medium hair and small mouth. So careful with that part. You need to talk about both things, personality qualities, and physical appearance. And after this, you need to put right here the characteristics of your house as a reference. And you need to talk, like we have an example right here. For example, my house is orange with brown door and has a big tree. And that's an example. You need to describe the characteristics of your house as a reference. And right here you need to put the link to your audio or URL. Yes? Ok. Voy a explicar rápidamente en español algunos puntos importantes. Este sería el formato con el que van a estar trabajando, la plantilla. En esta parte necesitan poner su foto. Tengan cuidado con el last name. En español, en México solo utilizamos 2. En Estados Unidos utilizan solamente 1. Allá sí se acostumbra mucho poner un middle name o lo que sería un segundo nombre. Pero aquí también lo acostumbramos, pero en mi caso yo solamente tengo un nombre, que sería Manuel. Si tuviera otro nombre, lo estaría agregando en esta parte. En la parte de address, en la parte de calle, necesitan poner el nombre de la calle, claramente, pero esta no se traduce al inglés. Tengan cuidado con esto. Los números se leen de manera diferente. Ahorita en inglés les comenté cómo se leían. Se los comenté en un solo dígito. Hay maneras en las que lo pueden revisar. Lo pueden leer en los dígitos y tienen que agregar el city, state, la ciudad, el estado y el código postal. Cuidado con el telephone number. Recuerden que se tiene que leer de manera adecuada en el idioma inglés. En cuanto al email, estos símbolos se ven también de manera diferente en el idioma inglés. Aquí yo les estoy dejando la equivalencia para que sepan cómo se tiene que leer. Ya les di un ejemplo hace menos de 2 minutos para que sepan cómo que se tiene que leer el correo electrónico. Tienen que agregar su nationality, age, occupation and birthday. En esta parte tienen que describir sus mejores cualidades de personalidad y su apariencia física. Es importante que abarquen ambos rubros que les está marcando aquí la instrucción. Y les da un ejemplo. Tienen que adaptarla claramente a su persona. En esta parte les pide las características, que agreguen las características de su casa como referencia. Y les da un pequeño ejemplo. Y finalmente aquí viene el link de su audio. Les hacía énfasis en las instrucciones cuando lo estaba leyendo en inglés, que deben tomar en cuenta que debe de tener los permisos adecuados para que su facilitador lo pueda escuchar. Si tienen duda de cómo se generan los links adecuadamente, les invitaría a que le manden un mensaje a su asesor virtual para que les comparta material de refuerzo y poder compartir adecuadamente sus audios. Así tengan mucho cuidado con el link, ya que puede generar problemas a la hora de que lo están revisando. Veo que por ahí hay una persona que está conectada a la sesión. Si hay alguna duda, de verdad, yo lo puedo atender con mucho gusto en el idioma español. Entonces, si en algún momento hay duda, adelante. Okay, we're going to continue with activity number 2. This is my great family. And we're going to take a look at the instructions. Follow the instructions in each box to complete the story of your family. And right here, we have the first instruction. Anota el título de tu documento, por ejemplo, This is the Anna's family. Aquí tienen que poner entonces el título de su documento. And right here, presiona sobre el icono para agregar la foto de familia. Aquí tienen que, perdón, me estoy adelantando un poquito. Antes les comparto las instrucciones de la plataforma. Vamos a revisarlas. Una disculpa, me adelanté. Okay, so we are in activity number 2. This is my great family. And what do we do when we know someone that we don't know? We try to establish a conversation so we can know each other a bit better. And what do we usually do? We share information about our family. And we're going to think that we have a photo of our family in our cell phone, and we're going to show it to that person that we just knew. And we're going to tell him, look, this is my family. This is my father. This is my mother. This is my sister. This is my dog. This is my cat. So you establish in that way a conversation. And we're going to think that you have met someone that is maybe from Britain. And as you may know, they only speak English. So you have to share that information in English. And that's the main purpose of this activity. So you can share information about yourself and your family members in an oral and written way. Clearly, you need to use the English language by talking about a photo. So what would you need to do this activity? You need to use the grammatical structure and vocabulary of this unit. You need to read simple text in English. You need to edit a Word document. And you also need to use a recording about your audio. Yes, you need to share that information in the cloud, and you need to, you need to save your information in the cloud, and you need to share that link of your audio. Yes. So what will you deliver? It's a presentation that's going to include a photo about your family and about yourself and 3 family members. Careful. Be very careful with this part because you need to talk about yourself and 3 family members. So it's going to be 4 in total. Careful with this part, yes? Some people may say, but listen, I only have my wife. I only live with both my parents. I don't have any other family that lives with me. Don't worry. You can talk about maybe a cousin, a friend, even a pet, because pets are part of the family. But it's important that you share information about 4 family members. Yes, yourself and 3 family members. And how are you going to do it? You need to click right here so you can download the template you're going to be working with. And you need to, in each space, put the photo about your family and also the photo about 3 family members plus your own. You need to write down the description in English about each. You can take a look at an example you have right here. We're going to take a look at it also, don't worry. And so you can work with this one, you need to work with Microsoft PowerPoint or presentation of Google. Once you have concluded, you need to make a recording where you're going to talk about the presentation of yourself and 3 family members. You need to consider that your recording doesn't last more than 10 minutes. You need to save your information, your recording in the cloud. You need to copy and share the link and put it on the specific space of the activity so your virtual advisor can listen to that audio. But make sure that it has the correct permission. Be very careful about this. And then you need to save it like this. You have an example. You need to upload your file into the platform. Remember that it needs to be saved on .ppt or .pptx so your virtual advisor can take a look at your work. And how are you going to be evaluated? You need to take a look at this rubric right here, and you need to consider the elements that your virtual advisor will use when he or she's gonna be evaluating your activity. And for both activities, you need to deliver them before Sunday, 13th of June of 2021. And so those are the instructions. Now we can take a look at the document. So I was telling you that you need to put right here the title of your document. This is the Anna's family. And right here you need to share the photo of your whole family. Yes? And after, on slide number 2, you need to follow again the instruction in each box to complete the story of your family. You can add as many slides as you need. Right here we have the instructions. Presiona sobre el icono para agregar tu fotografía. So you need to put your photo right here, yes? Then we have this instruction. Presiona sobre el texto para agregar la descripción sobre ti mismo. So you need to share the information, the description about yourself, yep? And for these 3 boxes, we have the same instruction. We're going to take a look at it. Presiona sobre el icono para agregar la foto de un miembro de tu familia. So we have 3. 1, 2, 3. You need to share a photo of 3 family members. And again, we have the same instruction for this and this and this. And we're going to take a look at it. Presiona sobre el texto para agregar la descripción de la persona. So you need to give a description about the person in the photo, but you need to establish some things that I'm going to tell you in just a second. Yes? So you need to share 4 photos and 4 descriptions. And right here, this is a place where you need to put the link to your audio. Yep. Now, let me show you the example so it's a bit clearer to know what you need to do. Yes? And right here we have the title. This is the funniest family. And right here we have the photo of the whole family. Yes? And we have something that we need to take a look at right here. It says the following. No es necesario que incluyas la información real de tu familia, puedes inventarla. El objetivo es que practiques las nociones gramaticales y el vocabulario de la primera unidad para presentarte a ti mismo y a otras personas de forma oral y escrita. Entonces, aquí necesitan agregar la foto, no es necesario que pongan una real, pero sí necesitan poner aquí el título y la foto de la familia que se supone son sus miembros de familia. And then right here we have the photo of Fanny, his brother maybe, her mother, and his father. And right here we have the description, yes, but you need to do something that I'm gonna show you, yes. We have different colors right here, yes. You need to talk about the person and that's giving specific information about the person. And for example, right here, I am Fanny. I am 18 years old and I am a student. It's talking about the person, right? You also need to talk about the physical appearance. Right here we have the physical appearance. I have long brown hair, brown eyes, and I am very tall for my age. It's talking about the physical appearance, yes? And right here we have something that it's going to talk about the personality. I am a happy girl, yes? So you need to talk about the person, you need to give the physical appearance and personality for each, yes? As you can see right here, it's talking about the person, and it's giving a bit of information about the physical appearance, yes, and also about the personality. So that's what you need to take in account when you do this activity, yes. And as I told you, you need to put right here the link to your audio. Ok, voy a explicarlo rápidamente en español. Tienen que poner aquí el título del documento. Esta es mi maravillosa familia. Esta es mi única familia, yes. Aquí necesitan poner también la foto de lo que serían todos los miembros de su familia. En esta parte es donde les había comentado. Es importante que tengan en cuenta que se tienen que agregar 4 fotografías y 4 descripciones. Una de ustedes y 3 de los miembros de su familia. Va a haber personas que van a decir, pero es que yo nada más vivo con mi esposa, con mi esposo. Yo nada más vivo con mis papás y somos 3. No importa. Necesitan agregar, y es importante que agreguen 4, por lo menos 4 descripciones, ¿sí? Incluso si quieren agregar más, pueden agregar tantas diapositivas como necesiten. Y ahora, para dar una descripción adecuada de la persona, necesitan tener en cuenta estos 3 aspectos. Necesitan hablar un poco sobre la persona, ¿sí? ¿Qué hace? ¿Cuántos años tiene? ¿A qué se dedica? Después tienen que agregar lo que sería la apariencia física, cómo es físicamente, si es alto, si es bajo, si es delgado, si es regordete, etc. El color de sus ojos, su cabello. Tratar de dar lo más a detalle que puedan de la información que se requiere. Y tienen que hablar sobre la personalidad, cómo es, si es enojón, si es una persona feliz, si es chistosa, etc. ¿Sí? Entonces, si abarcan estos 3 aspectos, estarían dando una descripción a detalle y con eso ya podremos conocer un poco a los miembros de la familia. Es importante que tomen en cuenta esto. Yo aquí se lo estoy poniendo a colores. Aquí, por ejemplo, yo soy Fanny, yo tengo 18 años de edad y soy una estudiante. Está hablando sobre la persona. Yo tengo el cabello largo café, largo, ojos de color café y soy alta para mi edad. Está hablando sobre su apariencia física. Yo soy una chica feliz, ¿sí? Está hablando sobre la personalidad. Y de igual manera se los marco aquí para que sepan cómo pueden integrar un poco la descripción de los miembros de su familia. Entonces, esa es la cuestión que tienen que tomar en cuenta principalmente en la actividad 2. Y muy importante, en esta parte va incluido el audio, el link de su audio. Entonces, esa sería la actividad 2 y pues prácticamente estaremos cumpliendo el programa que les había establecido al principio. Abro ya el espacio específico para dudas y preguntas en caso de que las haya para poderlas atender. Y como les comentaba, si hay duda, con mucho gusto, de verdad, me gustaría que me comentaran si hay alguna duda. Es importante que traten de aprovechar estas sesiones síncronas que tenemos. Estas sesiones síncronas nos sirven les sirven principalmente a ustedes, nos sirve a nosotros para conocer a otras personas de diferentes grupos, pero les sirve principalmente a ustedes para, por si no pudieron estar en la sesión con sus asesores virtuales, pues que lo puedan revisar con algún otro asesor. Pero sí es importante que cualquier duda específica necesitan compartírsela con su asesor virtual, porque pues cada uno tiene su forma de evaluar, tiene en cuenta diferentes situaciones, etcétera, ¿sí? Entonces yo me quedo abierto por si hay dudas o preguntas. Si no las hay, agradecería me comentaran para poderle dar cierre a la sesión. Voy a esperar un pequeño minutito para ver si por ahí hay dudas, sino para poder darle cierre a la sesión y pues que puedan comenzar adecuadamente sus actividades de la semana número 1. Yo les invito a que no tengan miedo de este módulo. Puede ser un tanto abrumador el hecho de que tenga que hacerse todo en inglés. Por ahí solamente en la semana 4 hay una pequeña parte del proyecto integrador que se tiene que hacer en español, pero pues el inglés no nos es ajeno. Lo tenemos en las series en Netflix que vemos, en las películas que vemos en el cine, en la música que escuchamos en Spotify, en la radio, en noticias, artículos de investigación, pues normalmente se publican primeramente en el idioma inglés y no es algo ajeno, ¿sí? Aquella persona que tenga una herramienta como el inglés tiene una herramienta muy poderosa, muy fuerte para que lo tomen en cuenta para poder entrar a la escuela, a alguna universidad, para poder trabajar en alguna empresa. Entonces hay que quitarnos ese miedo y mejor hay que convertirlo en emoción y en ganas de querer aprender sobre el idioma inglés. Me parece que no hay dudas, entonces, bueno, pues no me queda más que agradecerles el hecho que me acompañaron. Por ahí hubo una persona que me estuvo acompañando, muchas gracias. Agradezco a las personas que vieron la sesión grabada, está pensada para ustedes, aprovechen. Por mi parte sería todo, muchas gracias por su atención, que estén muy bien. Thank you very much for being here with me and try to take advantage of this session because these ones are made for you. And I will bid you the best of success in this module and on the following one. Thank you very much. See you later. Goodbye.